I already mentioned, I worked at very large companies like Infosys, PwC, 100,000 plus employees. So I let you dream big. I think you have more potential in you than you imagine. And that was my biggest learning from entrepreneurship. I never knew I could do all the things that I'm doing right now. And even after IIT, MBA, all these things, I thought I had probably picked up quite a few. But entrepreneurship was extremely humbling. I had to learn so much more. So that's the potential you all have. So I strongly recommend that you go back, look at your, what you've done, what you can potentially do. So dream big, read a lot, talk to a lot of people, attend events like this, and I would say go do something. Build your own thing. So what would really make all of us happy is next year, you're here on the panel saying that I built something. So that's what I would strongly recommend each of you to do. Thank you.
I think something that I'll say is that don't feel like you can't do it either. If you're consistent with whatever you're doing and you just keep doing it and use the hard work, you'll get somewhere that you wouldn't have expected 5 years ago. If 5 years ago you had told me that, oh, you're gonna start a company, I would not have believed that at all. So I think just be open and don't be narrow-minded, just be open and just believe in yourself that you can actually do something.
I think Radesh, you're going to be the hardest. Investor perspective.
Yeah. So I would say that if you are looking to the first business problem that you are planning to solve, that's identify that problem, how deep or hard it is, how painful that particular problem is. More the pain, go for it. If you are able to find a very painful, and then secondly, look into the market of that particular problem. What is for example, it's a very big pain point, but the market is limited to only few companies. Doesn't make sense. If it's a deep problem, large problem, that's the number one step. Second step is that then you look into what are the differentiation, what are the different existing competitive landscape. You study each of these competitive landscape players and see where are the areas you can offer the differentiation. If you are able to find the differentiation, just go for it. If there is no competition, wonderful. Then you just go ahead, and then you go about thinking about how you can build a moat around once you enter that market and then start getting to the market. So these are the fundamental things that I would request any of the would-be wannabe entrepreneurs to think about and start.
Before sending you the slide.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, all of you. And now we will field questions from the audience, please. Yes. You may need a mic.
Yeah, sorry for the interview. Please step forward to the stage.
How to scale up a company? Just why I'm asking this question, as a startup, if you are a one-man army, you can see a lot of growth. But once you leverage and start leveraging depending on teams and start to try to scale up and hire people, you will see real difficulties. So especially in terms of employees, not employees retention, that is not human employee, but sales. Towards sales people very good at misfiring us instead of getting new business. So how to tackle that?
The question is for them.
Yeah, I need three answers.
Three answers.
So what I found, one of the hardest things to do is to hire. When you are hiring as an entrepreneur or as a startup, they are basically coming because of you and your vision. You are not doing it as, when I was at PwC and I wanted to hire someone, people would definitely, at least take the interview and then we can evaluate and you can go through class. And same thing for a lot of you. Because they're trying to join a very well-known brand. But as an entrepreneur, when you're trying to hire someone, it's definitely very challenging because it has to be compelling enough. You're not going to pay them much. Work is going to be extremely hard, and especially sales is the hardest of all because there's a product but nobody knows about it. How do you sell? So these definitely are the problems that we face, and the first thing actually is, I think what Apurva already mentioned. first you as the founding team, you have to do everything, and then you hit a point where you cannot do it yourself anymore. I think that's the point where you bring people in, and then you check for that the match in terms of attitude, whether they are as hungry as you are to do something like this. You know, if I don't hire this person, will he go and do something? Will he or she go and do something like this on their own? Then that's when you really have to do everything to bring the person on your side, saying, hey, come and join me. I'll give you exactly what you're thinking of. I'll give you an accelerated path to learning, and you'll have an outsized reward if everything works well and you're part of the team. So definitely has been very hard, but again, I've been very lucky that way that we attracted the right people as we continue to grow the company. I don't know if I answered the full question fully, but yeah.
I think one thing I'll add to that is that a lot of times when we look at big tech or some companies, they'll look a lot at like credentials, resume. What I found when I was hiring, mainly on the engineering side, is like the people that really have the passion and can really do a good job, a lot of times they come from really unconventional backgrounds. Like 3 of the people I hired, one was a chem major in high school, the other one went to a liberal arts college, and the other one was in structural engineering. And for all 3 of them, this, like, working at Viral Space was like their first job. But now they're so core, they were core to Viral Space, and like they were the ones that got it to be where it was when we sold. So like maybe just be open again and don't be biased towards like what you think is the profile of the ideal hire.
Ability to hire the good talent is super critical. As a leader, you need to get the right sort of people with the right mindset. I think both of them mentioned about that. So one of the things in which you can really get good talent is also by offering ESOPs. Then if you're hiring somebody on the go-to-market side and the sales side, there is a how you can compensate his remuneration. One is that you can give a base salary, and then you can give something on based on quotas that he's able to achieve. And then you can figure out something like if he's exceeding the quota, there is something like you can give accelerated extra bonuses. So these are ways in which you kind of keep them motivated to kind of push themselves towards getting to your sales goals and targets. So yeah, it's I know it's very super great to get the right go-to-market person in your team.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? In the back.
Please go on. And if anyone else wants to ask the next question, please queue up here. That will make it easy. Yeah, if you can ask from that. Yes, you will be part of YouTube Live.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, first thing I wanted to thank you, it was very insightful. So my question here is, how can I validate quickly whether the idea I have is matching or a
What did I say?
Or a nice instructor. I have one thing. So something that actually worked for us pretty well, surprisingly, was actually just running ads for the product we didn't have, and then see how many impressions we got on different kinds of messaging that we got. So there's some like hacks that you can do in that way. And then the other one is just going to where you think your customers are and trying to sell before you actually build it. Like I think sell before you build is like a catchphrase, right? So that's another one. So if you just try to sell it and see what reactions are, see if people are willing to be put on a wait list, see if people are willing to even pay for it with the intent of actually paying for it when you have it ready. So those are some things that we do.
So one thing that I noticed is, see, first of all, you need someone who wants to pay you money. And one of the, again, made up numbers is you need to get at least 10 paid customers of a particular kind to know that this is a viable market. The other one I've seen is literally time. People are all busy. Are they even ready to give you time? You know, so we actually started with what Apurva said. We had we created a landing page, and we literally advertised the product we didn't even build yet, and to see what the click-through rate is, right? So, but then the next part was how many will actually attend the meeting and then come for the follow-on meeting. I think those were good points to kind of give us confirmation that there is something here. I think through that process, I think you can classify quickly. Is this a nice to have for them, or is this something real? I mean, people are not sitting idle. They're not going to come and attend your meeting if they're not interested. So I think those are all indicators to tell whether, again, a vitamin or an aspirin or a life-saving drug. I mean, literally, it validates. I don't know if you guys ever tried, but go and ask people for money. You will know it's very, very hard, okay? Especially if you don't have a brand yet. So what we found is getting 10 paid customers, and especially if they're ready to pay before you even have the product. I mean, that will be like the real proof point. So we actually built something and somebody cut a check for $60,000. Like, wow, I mean, I was like, this is a real pain. Like, this guy really wants to solve it. So I think I better build it very fast. So that's kind of how we operated.
Thank you. Anyone else with a question?
As a middle schooler in Australia, I would like to ask.
Could it be loud? Could it be loud?
Oh, yeah.
Put up the mic. Closer to you.
Hello?
Yeah, yes.
Hello. As a middle schooler in Australia, I would like to ask, what would you suggest for a career path to go into creating a business of my own?
I think this is a very opinionated question, but maybe what I would say is for me, what really helped was I was really interested in computer science, right? And I knew that computer science is one of those things where you can use it anywhere. So maybe one suggestion is if you like a specific field that you want to innovate in, you could even focus on that area. And then you can always either join startups to kind of learn how it is. Startups is one of those things where it's kind of hard to learn it in school. You kind of just have to do it. So maybe what I would recommend is see what you're really interested in and go down that path, learn more about it. Maybe bio is something you're really interested in, or civil engineering, something around that. And then the other thing I would say is you can actually start right now if you have an idea, right? Just get started, see what the pain points are, try to go through the process. So you can do that even now. So that's what I would advise.
I have a very interesting quote that always provokes me in a way. Okay, this is George Bernard Shaw's quote. He says, "A reasonable man, of course, a woman, right, adapts himself to the world. Okay, but an unreasonable man strives hard to adapt the world to himself. Okay, and therefore all the progress depends on the unreasonable man." That's his quote. Okay. So I strongly suggest that you be unreasonable. Start asking questions. Why is it like this? At your age, I think you should totally do that. You should not accept things as they are. And you should say, hey, how can this be better? I think you will find 100 ideas. And especially as Apurva said, if it's anything to do with computer science, you should be able to start doing something right away and validate the market. I mean, literally, you see many of them. First thing I think you could do potentially is just to read the biographies of a lot of entrepreneurs, and you will see even Warren Buffett. For him, the first business was selling newspapers. He would just go and sell newspapers to people, and so many of them have those stories. I think you're asking a great question, which is how can I get started? I think you have everything available right now with you. Asking that question is the starting point, I think. Okay, from here, I think you will figure out, so just be open, saying, hey, what is the problem, that people are ready to pay for? And then you solve it, and then you will build the muscle memory of how to spot it and how to build on top of it.
So I'm a moderator. I shouldn't be giving my opinion, but I will give you some advice.
So as a moderator, I should not be giving advice, but I will give you because I'm mentoring a 15-year-old boy who wants to be a startup person. He has gone through 5 ideas, and then he's figured out that the idea was not viable. But there's a book that you can buy. It's called The $100 Startup. And it lists case studies of a lot of little startups that started with an investment of less than $100, and some of them went on to be companies. And so this young boy that I'm mentoring, his latest idea was that, to find a clean bathroom, if you're out as a tourist, And he forgot to do the key test, which was search the app store, how many clean bathroom apps are there. So he was 5 months into the idea, and then I said, Jonas, did you check the app store? And he was like, oh my God, there's so many clean bathroom apps. But he's not defeated. So now he's working on other ideas. He has a notebook in which he has gone through all his startup ideas with me. And I have great hopes of him, like I have great hopes of you now.
Probably just add a little bit more of all you said. I mean, there's no straight answers for that, but I would say that just focus on the hard skills, and our hard skills can be like real mathematical skills or your ability to, or maybe financial technology skills. So those are the things which are like when you go through the curriculum. And I think all the moderators have said, like, be open, and you never know what kind of resonates with you, which area you want to focus on, whether it's life sciences or whether it's marketing. So those are things that just keep on looking out for. You never know what hits you.
And we're all there to support you. Anyone else with questions?
Any questions?
Okay. I want to thank the fabulous panelists. Oh, I can take this now.
I want to thank the fabulous panelists who gave their time, and of course the organization. And Omkar, where are you? Who convinced me I should be the moderator. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Penu, for inspiring us through your personal stories. You were very candid today and made the startup and funding seem very relatable to everybody here. Yeah, and a special thanks to Omkar for putting together panelists and bringing us here. I would now like to invite Ramesh Bapanpalli garu, Ellen Rao garu, Krishna garu, and NRIVA standing committee chairs to honor the guests here.
One more, yeah. All right. How about all of us join in? Yes. Yeah. We are not too many people. Come on, everybody. Come on in.
We can stop this. Please come on. This guy? Which? We can stop this, right? Or this? Oh, yeah. Somebody.